What's up, guys? Hello. This is the look that I created. It's nothing super special. It may seem like it's a lot. It really wasn't a lot. This is kind of my go-to. I want a full face of makeup, but I want to keep it really neutral and more natural tones. Just liner, lashes, brown eyeshadow, nude lips. You know, it'll go with anything and everything that I choose to wear. And also, we're going to be having some real talk. I'm going to be talking about some things that I've dealt with mentally and physically. This is me opening up a conversation and being vulnerable. So, I hope that you watch the whole thing. If not, that's okay. It is probably going to be a longer one because I don't want to edit out too much of what I've said. And yeah, if you want to know how I got this look, everything will be down in the description. You can watch me do my makeup while I talk about a few things. And I hope that you like it. So let's get straight into the video. Alright, I'm just putting on this e.l.f. eye tape. I've cut it up so I can get more strips out of it because they're super long. Let's see. Alright, I know that my lighting is not the best right now. I tried to find a light in the garage that I could like plug up outside and put outside the window, but I can't find it. Am I in focus? Okay, so I'm just going to prime my eyes. Alright, this is not going to be a tutorial. I'm not going to explain everything that I'm doing because we're going to be chatting. Alright, I'm just going to give that a second to set a little bit. I know, I have no brows. My hair is not styled. You know, this isn't the complete look, obviously. No, I guess we should just jump right into it. So you've heard me say that these videos are more for me at the moment rather than they are for you as the viewer. And I say that because this is something that I needed and I didn't know. So I've always, I remember back in high school, I was always drawing, sketching. I dabbled in painting, and it was an outlet for me. Whenever I did it, it was like I got to sit down and have a therapy session, almost. It's an outlet. You know, everyone has or needs to have their own personal outlet, whatever that looks like to you. So I went from working all the time, trying to be independent because my parents had 3 daughters and that's just kind of how they raised us. Even when Stuart and I were dating for like almost 2 years, I was still very much of that mindset that I wanted to be independent. Imagine going from being very independent to trusting someone to provide for you, someone that you haven't known your whole life, someone who hasn't raised you, trusting them to provide for you, and then being home all the time. And, you know, I was definitely depressed. I do still think that I'm kind of in it, even though I'm in a better place. I don't want this to come across as anyone needs to pity me or feel sorry for me, because I am in a better place now, but I still feel like it's something that really needs to be talked about. Am I still depressed? I don't know, because I still have my days that seem very dark. You know, everyone talks about like how it feels like a cloud hanging over you. That's kind of a good description. I would also say it's something that kind of feels like quicksand. Like, the more you try to figure out why and try to solve the problem, I need to get in the light more for you guys. It was like the more I would get caught up, and it was like that was equivalent to struggling in quicksand. I'm not wearing my ring. I just realized. I have it. I just am not wearing it at the moment. So the reason I know is because I had never struggled so much in my life mentally. It is a real... It is not a place that you want to be in. It's not a place that you would ever wish upon anyone to be in. And it's different from grief. And that's kind of what I want to talk about is, and not in a way where I'm comparing them and saying, oh, depression is worse than grief, or like, they're both equally horrible. When you're grieving over someone or something that you've lost, like, it's gone. You're not going to get it back. And now you have to figure out how to live your life without it. That's hard. That losing someone is, I'm not even going to compare the two. That's not what this is about. But it's different in that when you're grieving over a lost one, a loved one, you know why you're feeling the things you're feeling. You know why you're sad. You know why you're irritable. And it comes in waves. It really does. When you're depressed, you can have everything in the world that you've ever wanted and more in your life and still be sad. And that's the difference, is you don't know why. You have everything you want. I have a loving family and friends that support me. Stuart and I and Damien, we don't want for anything. You know, we are living very comfortably, and I hope, you know, that continues. I mean, we've got food on the table, clothes on our back, and a roof over our head, you know, and I wanted a boy so bad. I got a boy, and that is what was frustrating me so much. It was like, I have everything that I want. Why are you still sad? Because I would cry sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, guys. Just at the drop of a hat. Everything hurt my feelings. Everything made me angry. I was so irritable. It was starting to put a strain on my relationship with Stuart. You know, it just started to manifest itself in a really nasty way. People who are depressed often get labeled as attention seeking. And that's something that I don't get. We're told when you're struggling with your mental health, everyone says, like, you need to speak up, you need to reach out, you need to talk about it with someone. And then when we do reach out, it's like, you just want attention, you need to be more grateful, this and that. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna get bashed either way. And so there is a fear of judgment for sure, especially from people that know you and that know you have a good life. Why are you sad? Like, and then it's like, okay, you're the reason that I just don't want to talk about it. Don't do that. If someone is reaching out to you, let them reach out to you, because it was like, you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to provide them with solutions. Just say, you know, I mean, you don't always even have to have the right words to say. Just let them talk. You know, let them feel like they can have, like they have someone they can call and talk to, because mental health is, it's very serious. I had thoughts that I never, ever, ever in my life want to have again. And this is not me being dramatic. I know that this is kind of a deep video. I need to move on. You know, I'm not saying this to really bring anyone down. I'm just being honest with you and saying that this is really for me at the moment. It's more for me than it is for you. One day, I was in it. You know, I was in my feelings really deep. I exploded on Stuart. I said things that I shouldn't have said. That day, I just broke down. We had talked about my depression previously he knew that I was going through things. He was trying to be really understanding, but it definitely affects your relationships with the people who are closest to you, for sure. I think it took him just a moment to really process everything that I was saying and why I was saying it, even though I definitely had to apologize for some of the things I said. I was not completely in the right just because I was dealing with depression. It didn't give me the right to overstep and say some of the things that I said. I want that to be very clear. He came up, he hugged me, and he said, look, it surprised me. He said, you need a hobby. And I was like, we're having such a serious moment right now. And I rolled my eyes. I'm like, yes, I need one more thing to do. Totally. Yeah. Okay. You know, I was like, how is that going to help? And he's like, look, I bought you this laptop, which he did. He bought me the laptop that I am trying to edit my videos on. It's fine. It's just I'm still learning. And he was like, do your YouTube videos. Make them. Just do it. It's something that you like. Blah, blah. And, you know, I didn't really take it seriously in that moment. I was still crying and I was still afraid, and I was still like just hating myself in that moment, because as soon as I said some of those hurtful things, I was like, oh my God, I wish I could take it back. I wish I wouldn't have said that. But I reached a kind of breaking point. So I started doing it, and I started feeling good. I don't know. And to you, okay, this may seem ridiculous. You know, it's just makeup, Alexis. And I know that. I know that I don't need to wear all this makeup. I know I don't. You don't have, please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me. I know I don't. It's just something that I enjoy doing. And I was surprised because now I'm sitting there and I'm like, he was right. You know? And I'm surprised because he's not always good with emotional things. Like I said, it's like an outlet. Yeah, it's like you getting together. If you're a guy, you may not get this, especially if you're not into makeup or you don't like girls who wear a lot of makeup. Well, that's fine. I mean, that's you. You like what you like, whatever. Just don't come and tell me about it. It's like any other hobby anyone could have. You know, this gives me, believe it or not, a chance to, it gives me about an hour to sit down, have a little time to myself, have a cup of coffee, and have a bit of creative freedom, and also a chance to talk. Even though I'm only talking to the camera right now, I know someone's going to see this video and feel like I'm talking directly to them. And I keep that in mind. So, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. So I was really nervous to share my video on Facebook, which ended up probably being one of the best things I could do. But I got the most views I've ever had on a video, which is all thanks to you guys. Thank you. The fact that you are just taking the time to, even if you're not into makeup, even if you don't watch the whole thing, even if you don't learn anything, the fact that you've taken some time out of your day to watch it, something that I've put my time into, I am thankful for that. The reason I was nervous to share it on Facebook is because it's different getting any kind of like judgment or criticism. Not that I was afraid of people harshly criticizing me, but it's different when it's people who have known you, a lot of them who have known you your whole life, rather than a stranger who I'm never ever going to see, most likely. It's different coming from someone that you know rather than a total stranger, because sometimes if someone you know criticizes something that you've made or done, it feels a little more personal, even though it's like, no, it's really not. It's not personal. I was just afraid people would be telling me, you don't need all that makeup, Why are you wearing so much makeup? You wear too much makeup. What are you doing? I'm not perfect, and I wanted to be more vulnerable, because on Instagram, on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, we can look like we've got it all together, and we don't. I was feeling so many different things, and then there's a point where you realize that. There's a point where you realize I have everything that I want, and I'm still sad no matter what I do, no matter how much tossing and turning in my mind, going over it again and again. And then there is a guilt that starts to set in when you realize you have everything you could ever want, and you're still sitting here crying like you're so ungrateful. And that started to come into my head, and it was like a vicious cycle. And then so there was the sadness, the anger, then the guilt. Then I felt bad for feeling bad. Like, it was a cycle. It was very hard. It felt like a loss of identity, for lack of, I think that's the best way for me to describe it. I just remember thinking to myself, you're never going to be anything more than a mom. And that was horrible to say to myself in my head, because number one, it's like, what's wrong with being a mom? And I'm not just being a mom, but becoming a parent, even dads too. I know dads go through the same thing. You can stop and think to yourself like, oh, things are never going to be the way they used to. And yeah, that's kind of true. I guess just the best way to describe it would be, you're taking on a new role. You're becoming a new person. And yeah, on top of, dealing with some mental health issues, I've also been dealing with physical health issues. My knees are horrible. Let me know, y'all, what would you like to see? Do I need to do some makeup challenges on here? Because I want to do that as well. I also would like to, I want to do a series for beginners, or for people who don't really wear a lot of makeup, don't want to wear a lot of makeup, don't want to own a lot, but they still want to have something to put together a full face for a special occasion. But let me know when the next prom season is coming up. I definitely want to do a few looks for prom, or for formals, for the holidays, stuff like that. But I want to do a series for beginners, going through the whole thing, all of it drugstore, cheap, affordable makeup, from brushes to the products to skincare, everything. This has been my favorite, my go-to lately. And that's the finished look. Oh yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to be vulnerable. I wanted to use this as a means of just a way to start a conversation. I did get a little sidetracked in this video. I probably should have had a list of talking points and stuff, but I didn't. This was just, I wanted it to be authentic. I wanted to express myself and let you know that even though things may look perfect online, they're not. And we all go through things. We all go through struggles at different times in our life. And I definitely would say reach out to somebody and talk. And if someone is reaching out to you, don't shun them away. Don't push them away. Don't tell them you're too busy. Make time for them, because you never want someone to leave this world and think to yourself, I should have been there for them, or I should have been more involved. It's very important to talk about mental health. It's very important to be able to talk about what you're going through. And I wanted to make this to say, if you're going through it, you're not alone. If you know somebody who's going through some issues with depression or postpartum depression, please share this video with them. Let's start a conversation. Let's talk about it, because I'm tired of the negative stigma. I'm tired of people being judged for reaching out for help. everyone needs help in their life at some point. You cannot do everything on your own all the time. No matter how self-made you feel, there's going to be a time where you're going to need somebody. You know, let me know how you feel. Let me know if you can relate. Let me know if you like this look, if you like this video, what you think about it. Go check out my channel. It has my Instagram thing there. You can just click on it and it'll take you straight to my Instagram page where everything is makeup and kind of beauty related. So I will see you guys in the next one, hopefully starting off my new series. So be looking out for that. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye. And thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video. That was stupid. You know, and I really